And I'm a health researcher, and I'm working on the Bisexuality Disclosure Kit. This project came about because I was doing a study of bi women's use of cannabis, and I realized that bi women were describing a general lack of social support for their bi identity, and I wanted to do something about that. And so we've created this disclosure kit. The disclosure kit walks women through figuring out how they want to talk to their loved ones or their friends about being bisexual. It helps them put a safety plan in place, and it helps them figure out what kind of support they might need during that process. The disclosure kit also has a second part to it, and that's something that you fill out and you give to the person to whom you're coming out. And that helps them walk through the process themselves, figuring out what kind of support they're going to need. It helps explain some of the terminology we use that might not be familiar to them. And it gives them some ideas for things to say to show their support. And there's also a list of resources in there for them.
Hi, my name is Corey Flanders, and I'm a researcher who's had the opportunity to work with Margaret on various projects. And I'm really excited about this disclosure kit that she's put together, because I think as bisexual women we run into all sorts of interesting experiences when we decide to come out to people. So the portion of Margaret's disclosure kit that I'm really excited about is the part where you talk about boundaries. And I think that's so important when you're coming out as bisexual, to really think about what you're comfortable talking about with people, what you think will be useful, what you feel safe talking about with people. And it also gives this space for people to know what's okay to ask when someone's coming out as bisexual and what is potentially off limit. I think in particular, coming out as bisexual, we get so many ridiculous questions that come out. So my personal favorite is when people ask you to recount your entire sexual history when you come out to them as bisexual, regardless of how well you know this person or not. And so I think that's why it's so useful to think about including boundaries when you're coming out.
Hi, my name is Margaret, and I identify as a bisexual woman. And I was really excited to read Margaret's disclosure kit, mainly for two reasons. One is because it's really concise and detailed, and it takes you through this process in a very understanding way. Kind of like it has you think about your own circumstances. Like the first question is, what are the reasons that you're coming out? Like, why are you doing this? And you know, not just one reason is valid, but it also just really helps with self-reflection and deciding, like, well, what is my goal in coming out, and who would it be actually beneficial to come out to? And I feel like this would have been really useful for me when I was doing my coming out, and I got so anxious that in the end I was like, I'm just going to go through Facebook. Everyone will know. It will be out in the open. But I think if I had had the disclosure kit, I would probably gone about it a different way. And the other thing that I really appreciate about this kit is that it has a second part that's really, you know, specifically for the person that's being come out to. So yeah, kind of guiding them along, acknowledging that they have feelings about this and that they may need time to process. So I thought that was a really positive thing to kind of like trying to preserve the relationship in that way.
When I came out as bisexual 25 years ago, there were no resources to help me. And there was nothing to help me deal with the negative repercussions of coming out. So I'm hoping that the Bisexuality Disclosure Kit will be a good resource, whether people are coming out as bisexual, omnisexual, pansexual, or fluid. I want to thank our funder, Women's Xchange. I want to thank the Public Design Studio. I want to thank all the bi women who participated in our workshops. And I want to thank Rainbow Health Ontario for agreeing to carry our disclosure kit in their online store.